thought from where we started the season to where we ended it, it was quite a turnaround. And I credit that to the seniors that were on here earlier talking, and credit that to our staff and just the ways that we're trying to change the culture of this football program. And I think we're headed in the right direction. Obviously, we got a long way to go. Obviously, that's our main focus right now is hitting the recruiting trail, and our path to the playoffs for next year began yesterday when we met with the team and he said goodbye to those seniors for the last time. And now this morning we spent all day up to this point, trying to find the next guys to bring in here and how to fill those voids and things of that nature. But very proud of the effort of this team, very proud of the resiliency of this team and this staff. And it's like I told somebody after the game that I was talking to, you hadn't seen anything yet. And I think the best is yet to come because we've got an awful lot of young guys and guys back on both sides of the ball. Obviously, the places that we lost are huge hits for us, and we'll have to do a really good job of filling in those voids, but very, very encouraged with what we have left coming back for next year.
When you see, we already know who's going to be in the playoff for FCS football, a team like Illinois State that went 65. Crazy to think you guys were right there.
Yeah.
You're 1 point in SEMO, a touchdown against UT Martin, a team that probably deserved to be in the FCS.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But they didn't get in, and I know Coach Simpson's really frustrated about that publicly, and should be. How do you guys take that leap between this season and next year, being that 8 to 10 points away?
Yeah, I think it's going to start in the off season. I think that's the $1 million question, that every coach has is how do you get past those two conference losses by a combined 8 points, that we had, and I think that starts that starts right now. That's what we've already started trying to decide on and pinpoint, what went wrong and where we went wrong and things like that. And so this off season is going to be very, very important in the development of just that, the development of this team and figuring out ways to win those ball games. And it's like I said, our path to the playoffs has already begun. So we had a staff meeting yesterday. It took about 4 hours just going over personnel and just where we need to switch some guys and move some guys, and if we need to move some guys and things like that, and what we're going to target on in recruiting. And then once we get done with that and get done with the Thanksgiving holidays, and we'll come back and we'll start focusing on the off-season program, what we're going to do and changes that we're going to make there, and reevaluating everything that goes on just to see where we can make that leap, where we can make that jump, where we're missing the boat, and that's the $1 million question. That's what we got to figure out, because I think that I think we're talented enough to do that. At some spots, we got to get our depth right. That's always been a big key for me, is getting our depth right, and we'll do that in recruiting. But like I said, very encouraged by what we have coming back for next season, and being able to make a playoff run. And I'm with you. I do think that it was a shame that UT Martin did not get into the playoffs. I really thought that we were good enough as a conference to have two teams in that. And I sent Simpson a text and told him that. I said, man, I know it doesn't make you feel any better, but coming from a low man on the totem pole, I just wanted you to know I thought you should have got in. So.
Can you elaborate on these next 3 months? I know you can't talk about specific kids that you're targeting, but what are some of the positions that you're going to be looking for? Because your next class,
it's crucial.
It's crucial, but it's small.
Yeah. We've got to improve. We got to get a pass rusher in here. We got to get somebody that can get after the passer on defense, where we don't have to create. We don't have to blitz. We don't have to send pressures and put fewer people in coverage. We got to get a dude or two dudes in here that can get to that passer, whether it be with speed, whether it be with strength, whatever the case may be. We've got to build our line of scrimmage up front on the offensive side of the ball, and we've got to develop a mindset. We've got to develop a stronger mentality up front on the offensive side of the ball. Got to be able to run the football. We've got to create an edge there. And then obviously we've got to we got to bring in a trigger man. I've been very fortunate in my career here to always have a trigger man, and one waiting in the wings, and and I've got a couple of guys there, but obviously, with this offense and things that we've been able to do in the past years, that's a crucial part of what we do around here is having that guy, and I feel like that because of the successes that we've had at that spot, it makes it a little bit, I wouldn't say easier, but it creates a good situation for us in recruiting, where we can go try to find and sometimes over recruit at that position and get a guy that we feel like can then come in and take that position over, and we've got to do that. But it's like you said, the biggest thing we have to do in recruiting this year is we've got to get very, very creative in our numbers, because it's not going to be a big class, because last year was such a big class. So we've got to get creative and find ways to build our depth. And the way you do that, we're going to hit the state of Kentucky very, very hard. We're going to try to find guys that not only are successful on the field, but are successful in the classroom. That way, you can start piecing and parceling some kids and try to build some depth, and get a lot of bodies in here, because what we've got to do is we've got to find ways to where the Jordan Gandys and the Mario McGraws and the Zach Wades and all those guys, they're not playing 80 to 85 snaps on offense or defense and then playing 25 to 30 snaps on special teams as well. We've got to start developing this roster to where we've got some guys who can contribute, especially in their early years in their career. They can go out and contribute. Now, they may not be all conference players for you, but in those freshmen and sophomores and redshirt freshman years, they can go take 10, 12 snaps O&D, and they can run down on every special teams and really, really make plays. Obviously, that's the biggest thing we have to do in recruiting this offseason.
Can you comment on two guys that I've been thinking about, just with Mark Dodson and Cameron Burse? Is there any sort of development as to what their eligibility status will be for next season?
Not really from their eligibility status. I always make the joke, NCAA, they're like the government now. They don't do anything fast. But I will say this: I saw Mark Dotson this morning. He was walking around already, so he's way above schedule, or ahead of schedule, I should say, with that foot injury. And he's in a boot right now, and he's walking around. So that's really good to see. We've already started the paces on both of them in trying to get those extra years back for them, and so we'll just have to wait and see how it goes.